I have a now 3-year-old son who was living with my mom, his grandma, for a year while I was away getting myself together. For personal reasons I will not explain why I was away for so long, but I felt I needed to better myself for my son. My mother agreed to take care of him while I was away. I FaceTimed with him whenever I could. Fast forward to last month, I come to my mother's house to pick up my son. He's happy to see me and my mother are talking while he's playing with his dinosaurs. He suddenly looks up at my mother and says, "Mommy, I'm thirsty." I was obviously confused and asked my mother if she heard him call her mom. She laughed nervously and said that he had been calling her that for a while. She basically explained that while I was away she told him that she was his mom and to call her that. I laughed and told her that I wasn't comfortable with that since she wasn't the one who birthed him. I told her he should know that she's his grandmother, not his mom. She got upset and told me that he needed a mother figure while I was gone and she was just trying to fill that role for him. She said something along the lines of, "I've been his mother for a year now and you can't change it." We went back and forth until it got to the point where we started raising our voices. She spat out some insults about me being a bad mom for being away for so long and how she should be his mom cause he doesn't need a mom like me. I simply told her that she isn't going to be seeing him anymore because I'm not comfortable with him calling her mom. We gathered his stuff and left after that. She blew up my phone for days, talked some mess to family members, anything she could to make me look and feel bad. But I refused to forgive her, especially after all that stuff she said. Am I the idiot? Edit. For those of you saying I abandoned him, I didn't. I was too sick to take care of him. That's all I'm going to say about that. I couldn't be the best mother to him cause of my medical issues. I wanted to be there for him. I didn't just dump him on my mother. I feel the need to explain that cause people are getting the wrong idea. It was possible for him to visit, but my mom said it would be best if he didn't see me like that cause he'd be too young to understand. And I trusted her, so I didn't allow him to visit. No, I wasn't in a mental hospital or rehab. It was physical health reasons. A lot of you are saying you think I was in rehab because of the way I've worded things in my post. Rather than edit out the original, I'd just like to explain that it's probably not the best wording to use for this situation and I understand that now. What I meant to say was I felt I needed to be in better health for my son. Getting myself together in my head pretty much means getting better and healthier. I apologize for that. This will probably be my last edit. My son is getting a therapist like a lot of you have recommended. I'm considering working things out with my mother only because I don't want her fighting for custody. Still unsure though. Everyone's the idiot here. Grandma could have easily clarified to your son what a relationship is, and being a mother figure doesn't have to mean that she has to be called mom. However, you clearly are aware that you have some issues you had to work out and your mom did something big for agreeing to help raise your kid. You're now cutting him off from an important person in his life for the last year since the two adults can't work out their issues. Two of you need to talk and figure this out and dig into the larger issues, maybe even with some counseling or outside help. Not the idiot. As a mom, especially when you're in a crap situation, the best thing you can do is take a step back and get better. Instead of being proud of you, your own mom hijacked your child. Seriously, keep it in that perspective whenever you feel you've done something wrong. Don't talk badly about your mother to your child, but do make sure he knows you're his mother and you're not going anywhere. What an idiot, moms of adults are crazy. I hope I'm not like that when I'm old. She knew it was wrong, but let it happen. Document this because she could try for grandparents' rights, visitation, or even custody. She engaged in a form of parental alienation, and if she admitted to encouraging your son to call her mommy and text save it, that will torpedo her visitation case because judges really don't like it when a biological parent pulls that stunt, so they won't react well to a grandparent doing it either. Update. I just wanted to start out by saying thank you everyone for the feedback that you gave me and the judgments. Whether they were negative or positive, I took each and every one of them into deep consideration. I accepted the judgment and indeed realized that I was also being an idiot. My son has since seen a therapist like a lot of you suggested he should. He's done pretty well, although the therapist suggested he continue therapy for a little longer, considering he's still confused about the situation. He knows I'm his mother, but essentially thinks he has two moms. I've done my very best to go slow with him and teach him who is his mom and who is his grandmother. Regarding his grandmother, I did what a lot of you suggested and let her FaceTime him every day for a couple hours to not upset him. I did this until an incident involving her came up. I'm taking this to court. As much as I hate to further upset my son, I have come to the conclusion that she no longer needs to be in contact with us, at least not for a while. I'm sorry for all of you that this disappoints. I just want to do what's best for my son. As for my health, I am slowly getting better in case any of you were wondering. I have to visit my doctor several times a month, but that's an improvement honestly. Thank you all. I wish this situation could have ended differently, but I was able to try to resolve it thanks to all of you. I, 27, have been with my fiancée, 27, for 2 years. 6 months ago I proposed. Her family has always gotten along with me. In her culture it was forbidden for younger siblings to marry before their older ones. Siblings had to marry in birth order. I had no idea about that. She's third generation Canadian. Her parents don't have any siblings, so it wasn't a problem. One of her grandparents has a younger brother, but he's never been married and is more of a scholar, so it wasn't a problem. She has one sibling, 30. Last year her sister's boyfriend of 7 years left the relationship because of her on him pressure to marry. He always said marriage wasn't for him, but he was okay with a committed relationship without it. They had lived together for almost 5 years. My fiancé did feel for her, but at the same time her sister didn't listen to what he said and she thought she could change his mind. Her family was not happy about the engagement. They say she shouldn't have gotten engaged before her sister was married and should have said not yet to my proposal. Now they want us to wait until her sister gets married. She's completely single now and her getting married would take years. This never came up before. They always got along with me fine. Her sister was especially upset at hearing the news. Her 4 grandparents, great uncle and parents are on her sister's side. We've decided not to wait to get married because there is no end to the pandemic in sight. We're getting married Friday on our 2-year anniversary. We will do it outdoors. The only people there will be the officiant and 2 friends to be witness and take pictures and video. The 3 of them work with us. We work in a hospital. I'm a histologist and my fiancé is a respiratory therapist, so we won't be around any new people. We'll stream it for any family and friends and colleagues who want to watch, and we'll email the video and photos to anyone who asks. We won't have a reception or honeymoon until things are better. Her parents, sister, grandparents and great uncle say they will not watch the wedding. I'm angry at them. We live in modern Canada. People don't get married young, as in past times. Her sister is an adult with a college degree and a full-time job, but she is being so petty, and my family is supporting her. It's not we got engaged the day her sister's boyfriend left her. More than a year has passed. Am I the idiot for being angry with her family, and telling them to knock it off? She's hurt to have no family support. Work has been hell for both of us due to the pandemic, and either of us getting a day off has been like pulling teeth. No one's fault, just the pandemic. We both have to work the day after our wedding too. Besides work, we haven't left our home for anything since March. We are working extra hours. We just want one nice thing. I'm also wondering if they will be angry if my fiancé gets pregnant before her sister. I don't like seeing her hurt. Not the idiot. When people immigrate to more liberal countries, they are meant to assimilate their culture into that of their new home, not try to live like they did in the old world. Second generation shouldn't be bound by the rules of their parents' old homes. Your wife is a third-gen Westerner. She has all the rights of any Westerner, including marrying him she wishes, and when. Your anger at them for making her unhappy is entirely proper. Culture is not a valid excuse for being controlling idiots. Your fiancé is 27 years old. She is out of the house and fully independent. If her family will not support her decision, especially over this petty of a reason, then they can go ahead and seethe. I hope you have an amazing wedding, and I hope you convince your soon-to-be wife to potentially cut off contact if things escalate. All of this seemed to just be them showing their true colors, which is really unfortunate. One reads such rules of conduct in very old books. It would be time to realize that we live in the 21st century. Personally, if I were you, I wouldn't make myself dependent on long outdated cultural instructions. Then you would be like them, which you obviously are not anyway. There is only one way. to become free from the power of the dead and outdated laws of times long past. And her family has to learn this the hard way. I, 29, own my own home. This will be relevant later. My mum, 53, lives with me as she lost her home a couple years ago. Long story and not very relevant. A year ago she began dating again and met R, 47, and they have been in a relationship for 6 months. When Global Issue began, I agreed to allow R and his kids, 14, 12, to come live with us. Now I've met R enough times that we know each other as friends, but not close friends. I'm just happy my mum is moving on. He immediately began laying down rules he expects all the kids to follow, and I thought fair enough, you have rules for your kids, it's not my business. Of course he put out a reasonable curfew for the kids. So, now we get to 48 hours ago. I was feeling cooped up in the house and decided to go for a late night run with me immediately going to bed when I got back. When I woke up in the morning I went down for breakfast. As I hit the bottom of the stairs the living room door flies open with R on the other side, red-faced and obviously angry. He immediately shouted, "In here now." I have no idea what's going on, but I assumed it was to do with his kids, so I go in and he slams the door shut, so I turned and said, "Was there any need for that?" He goes wide-eyed and starts going into an angry tirade. How dare I disrespect his rules? Your stepbrother and sister follow the rules. Why can't you? Under this roof you show me respect. I'm your flippin' stepdad. Through all this him sitting on the coffee table in disbelief, getting angrier by the second. Eventually he finished blasting off, but not before his kids and my mum come down to see what's going on. This may be where I am the idiot. I stood up and pretty much stood nose to nose. Yeah, it's intimidating behavior, my first mistake, and I just let rip. I asked him how dare he talk to me this way in my house. I'm a grown man, I do not follow your rules under my roof. If you can't handle that, then get out. You aren't my stepfather, you are my mother's boyfriend, and we will never have the sort of relationship you clearly misled yourself into thinking we do. I expect an apology. He packed his things and took his kids back to his own home. My mum said there was no need for me to be that nasty and accused me of going too far for embarrassing her boyfriend in front of his kids and undermining his parenting. Now she's giving me the silent treatment. Not the idiot. Some random dude literally rolled up into your house, slamming doors and yelling like he pays the bills and his name on the title. He tried to show dominance and intimate you most likely does the same to his kids and maybe your mother, and backed the hell down when he realized that met someone he didn't have control over and could probably beat that butt. It's probably true because his butt bounced back to his home after he was emasculated. He thought he could control what you did in your own home and discipline you for breaking his rules because he was dating your mother. Of course you're not going to obey him, and of course you're going to get mad at him for expecting you to. It's his own fault he got embarrassed in front of his kids. If anything, you showed them they didn't have to put up with him ordering them around as adults. You are completely in the right. He has no authority over you and was being downright nasty. The fact that your mother blames you and is acting like this when you own the house makes me think that you need to have a talk with her too, and if she keeps giving the silent treatment over this and being rude to you, then maybe you should make it clear who owns the house and who is being allowed to live there. Sorry if that's harsh. I'm pregnant. My fiancé and I are being given ideas for baby names from both families. We've said we are still discussing names, but we want to choose ourselves with no outside influence. We are choosing entirely based on what we want and what feels right to us, and we wouldn't be taking suggestions because we're the ones who will be interacting with our child on a daily basis and writing their name on forms for the next 18 years. Both families have a severe case of baby rabies. He's an only child, and I'm the baby of the family because my half-siblings are 15 and 18 years older than I am. One doesn't want kids, and one adopts older kids, so this is the only baby that will be born into either family for the foreseeable future. Because of all of this, everyone has someone they want the baby named after. We say the same thing every time about it being up to us and not wanting any outside influence. Both families have a history of letting their elders choose baby names out of respect, but while we respect those who came before us, we're not doing that. My sister and future sister-in-law organized a baby and bridal proposal was recent shower for me. Halfway through the shower I saw my mum going round with a cereal bowl collecting slips of paper. I asked her what it was and she said it was name suggestions. The idea was that they write them down and give me the bowl. I pull out a few, read them out and gush over how lovely they are. I really wasn't into the whole idea and told her to stop. Sister and sister-in-law could see I was really annoyed and told her to knock it off. Some time passes, and then I see Mum going round with a bowl again. She'd stopped for a short amount of time. Everyone, pretty sure it's everyone, definitely the majority of people, at the party, is aware of mine and my fiance's stance on baby names. Eventually, seeing all the slips of paper being passed around went from being mildly irritating to genuinely infuriating. So, and here's where I might be the idiot, I went into my sister's study and, with her permission, grabbed the small bin she keeps by her desk. I went round with the bin, collecting all the baby names Mum didn't have, and sat back down. Then I got Mum to give me the bowl of names she had. Probably about 2/3 of the party saw and assumed I was about to go through them and instead saw me dump the bowl of names into the small bin and pass it to my sister-in-law, who dumped the contents into a larger food waste bin in the kitchen. The people who saw were very upset and got mad at us, and my sister invited them to leave, and the ones who didn't see realized what had happened. The party ended within about 10 minutes of us doing that. Mum is probably the angriest of anyone, but both mine and my fiance's family are raging. Me, my sister, sister-in-law, and fiance all thought it was funny, but the messages I'm getting say that some people disagree. Am I the idiot? Everyone's the idiot here. Your mom was obnoxious about the whole thing, and you were absolutely right to ask her to knock it off. But you could have handled it better than by making a show of throwing them in the bin. You could have just taken the bowl, put it away, and continue as if nothing happened, and had a nice rest of the day with everyone. If she still continued a simple, and maybe public, "No mom, I don't want to do that," the "wants more cake" would have meant everyone got the message, without them thinking you were an idiot for making a big deal out of it. You're the idiot, it was just a game at a baby shower. It doesn't mean you have to name your baby any of those names, it's not that serious. Instead you threw a fit in front of friends and family who were there to celebrate with you, and you made it an awkward situation. Baby showers are known to have silly games, so lighten up a little. Not the idiot, it's blowing my mind how many people think you should have just entertained her ideas like that wouldn't make her keep pushing and pushing with more names throughout the pregnancy until you picked one of hers. She should have stopped when told, or never flipping started, because she knew she had no say in the name pre-party. Your siblings are all incredible for backing you up.